Hello, hello. Are we here?
This thing on?
Are we live again? Take two. Here we go. Here we go. There we are. Hey, everybody, it's Johnny Beane. It is December 9th, 2019, 4:07 p.m. out here in Santa Cruz, California. So it's 7:07, where Rob Johnson is.
7:07. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, we're back. Take two. I figured it'd be best just to start over and get to these two other subjects here. So welcome everybody. Rob Johnson.
Hello again.
Hey, man. Hey,
Hope
good to see you.
Still hanging out. Maybe you guys had a chance to get a bathroom break and grab a drink and chill out for a little bit.
Yeah. If you want to see the previous video we just did, we were live for the last hour. Look right above Rob. There'll be a card right above where Rob is. The previous video. So, yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back. We got 17 in the house. Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're brand new. We like talking about cool guitars and music, and we're going to talk about a couple of really cool guitars right here. So if you guys remember, over the past several months, there was an exhibit at the Met in New York City. It was called Play It Loud, and it was an exhibit of a lot of guitars. I think mostly guitars. I think instruments from rock and roll history. And one of the guitars there was the original Frankenstein guitar, which I know you actually saw.
Yeah, that was amazing.
You were there.
Yeah. It was surreal to me. I mean, when Hubbard and I went out, because Chris Hubbard came and visited me that week, and that was part of our deal. We were going to go out and see Scott Smith and hang out with him, and which we did, and got to see his amazing collection. I mean, Scott and I have been friends for 20-something years, just like Johnny and I have been friends for 20-something years. But I'd never been to Scott's house. I've met Scott plenty of times, but I'd never been to his house. And that was cool, and got to go hang out with Adam Reaver and go to the Futone shop and see some really amazing stuff. But one of the most amazing things that I've, not to sound like the total fanboy, but one of the most amazing things I can honestly say in my life, because Van Halen has been such a huge part of it, was to see the actual, yeah, this is the one, but to see the actual Frankenstrat guitar, that was just amazing to actually walk up and see the real one and get literally, 2 inches away from it, because that's how close you could get to it. It was surreal. I mean, it was, it almost didn't even look real. You just walk around and you see this thing that basically started it all for us. It was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. It was amazing. And it looks just like this. I mean, it's just a piece of wood, and the color looked a little different than I had expected it to. It almost looked more pink to me. But yeah, it was awesome. That was the coolest thing to see that guitar, Johnny. It really was. It was amazing to get that close to it.
Yeah.
Of anything.
Man, I wish I could have made it over there. But for me, it's all the way across the country, and
I know it was closer to me than it's been to you. You're like a couple hours away from the thing, and for where you live, and it's ironic. I'm the one that got to go see it.
That's awesome, man. That's so cool. But so anyway, so that exhibit, Play It Loud, has left the Met, and it is now at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. But instead of the original Frankenstein guitar being there, they have the custom Wolfgang that was built for Eddie, for part of the 2012 tour. The
Yeah,
very end of the 2012 tour,
yeah.
right?
That was
Um,
the Tokyo. I mean, the live CD that came out, right? I mean, the guitar that Eddie played in Japan and the live CD.
yes, yeah. The guitar that he's playing on the CD, and actually, our friend Mike Wolverton actually posted some pictures to Facebook today. And I'll read this. There's a plaque that's actually there. There it is, right there. Anyway, that's the guitar. We'll show you guys some pictures of the guitar, and I've actually been meaning to talk. I've been meaning to talk about this for past few weeks now, but it's been very crazy lately. So I'll go ahead and read this real quick. Eddie Van Halen electric guitar, 2012 Wolfgang Eruption. Huh? So that's called a Eruption guitar.
Yeah.
Apparently. That's cool. EVH gear, Fender Musical Instruments, Corona, California, 2012, courtesy of Eddie Van Halen and Fender Musical Instruments Corp. Okay, so here's a description of the guitar, real quick, and then we'll show you guys some pictures. Basswood body with carved maple top, quarter swan maple neck with ebony fingerboard, 25.5 inches. Hand sprayed rattle can white finish with black stripes, 2 humbuckers with volume and tone controls, pickup selector with momentary kill switch. Oh, that's the sound right there. Ugh. This 2012 EVH Wolfgang was custom made for Eddie Van Halen by Chip Ellis. Chip, happy birthday, by the way. It was his, well, recently. Yeah. Recently he had a birthday, and Chip, looking forward to seeing you at NAMM this year. Was built for the 2012 Japanese tour and live album. Okay, so it was built for the Japanese leg. Although this Wolfgang is Eddie's modern current design, the finish is a throwback to Eddie's Eruption guitar graphic that was sprayed in the same fashion as the original, and as the original was sprayed back in 1978 outdoors on Eddie's property using lacquer rattle cans. The result is a marriage of modern and vintage. So this is the guitar we're talking about right here. I'll present right there.
Really cool.
So these are some photos by Mike Wolverton.
Notice as Johnny's showing that, I'm just going to narrate for a second. Notice the VH1 style graphic, because Eddie went back to the VH1 style, minus the black pickguard. And also notice what he was doing back in 2012, which right up till 2015, and probably still today, the kill switch, the red kill switch in the old Music Man location. Really cool.
Ah, that's right, huh? That's right. And if you really look close, the guitar is pretty relict.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you look at those pickups.
Oh yeah.
Look at that bridge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's very cool. And the headstock.
While Johnny's doing that, just so you know, Craig, we did 2 videos. We just started this one. So if you want to see the last one, buddy, go back. We just ended the last video about 5 minutes ago, and we had a whole bunch of other stuff we talked about. And I actually talked about your blue Kramer that you did. So check out that last video for this. We just started a new video, so there's going to be a total of 2. Look at the back of it. Yeah, that's awesome. Now that's new to me because I never knew the back of that headstock was black. That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. And here's the back of the guitar.
Which I think that's a first picture ever, right, Johnny? I don't think any of us ever saw the back of that guitar.
I there were some pictures that were posted probably a few weeks ago over on Instagram from Devin.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Over on his Van Halen Photos account, he posted some pictures.
But I mean, up until then, I don't think any of us have seen those. You know what I mean?
No, there was no pictures of the back of it. That's cool. Actually, I'm gonna stand up if you guys don't mind, because I'm trying. It's kind of weird.
That's so cool.
And you guys can pause the video if you want to really look at some of these pictures. Oh no. Oh wait. Where's another one? Actually, I do have some of Devin's pictures here from his Instagram. And yeah, this is from Van Halen Photos on Instagram.
Yeah, that's awesome. Look how you can see the wood worn away, and then like the yellowing. Now, I don't think those are actual pinstripes like the original VH1 was. I think those are paint. What do you think, Johnny? You agree?
I don't know. I mean,
They
that
just
kind of
they don't have that texture. I mean, if those were actual pinstripes, you'd see that where it goes into the wood area.
But look at the side, how it's like ripped off on that one on the top.
That's paint. That's a relic job.
That's paint.
Because if it wasn't, you'd see the pinstripe lifting.
Look at that pickup.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's crazy, man.
That is so cool. Oh God, look at that.
Craig, thank you very much, Craig. Yeah, Howie is very, very missed. And I've got so many people I gotta respond to. Wild, man. Is this your first time seeing some of this? Look at that.
It's my first time seeing these. Johnny, can you send me all these? I've never seen these.
Mm-hmm. These are actually they're on Instagram. They've been on Instagram for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Ugh.
Go to Van Halen Photos, which is Devin's account. He was there. He took these.
Ugh.
And again, you guys can pause the video. And then of course there's another display there which has some of the newer amps. Looks like it's possibly Eddie's setup from like the 2012 tour or something.
Yeah. Now I will tell you that Frankenstrat, the red, white, and black one, is a Chip Ellis replica, and the Bumblebee is one of the new.
All 3 of those are Chip Ellis replicas. All 3 of those guitars.
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, my back. Oh, I can't.
Oh, my back.
Hang on. I got to try to sit down now. Oh, my gosh.
Metal Soda says, where does Eddie get his eye hooks? Same place we do, Home Depot or the hardware store, Ace. There's nothing special about them, dude. They're just regular stuff. You know, we all sit back and we look at the space tape that Eddie used on the 5150 guitar and the 1984 and the 918V and the 1986 Kramer we're going to talk about in a little bit. That was all stuff you could get at any hardware store, or, you know, you could get anywhere. You could get a department store, hardware store back in the 80s, and the silver the silver tape he used on his, Wolfgang back in 98 and 2004. That's all stuff you can get at any hardware store. The eye bolts and all that stuff, it's just plain Jane stuff. All we try to do is find the exact model and style that Eddie got, but it's all easy peasy stuff. There's nothing rare about any of it, really. Unless you're going back 20-something years to find stuff they don't make anymore. But I mean, I'll tell you, Metal Soda, I mean, I sit back and I look and I'm like, oh man, where do you get that? Where do you get that? And like on this guitar, my 2004 98 style guitar, remember when he came out with these numbers, and we're all like, whoa, where did he get those? Where did he get those? This is at Abashan Hardware. They're there every single day, and it's just mailbox numbers. It's the craziest stuff. All the eye bolts and stuff, everything he got is just over the counter stuff. The only thing that Eddie had custom made, really, that I know of, were these eye bolts. They're basic number 8 or number 6, depending on the year, eye bolts with regular fender washers. He just had them custom welded, like I did. That's it. I mean, that's the stuff. I mean, it's literally that simple, and it's taken me so many years to figure out that the stuff that he used, it's just basic stuff. It really is. There's no mystery or secret about it. It's nothing more than a matter of actually just taking the time to do the research and the investigations and to see exactly what size it is. That's all it is. And I've been doing this stuff for Johnny, how long have I been building these guitars? 25 years now. I mean, you've seen me when we were on the VH trading stuff. It's taken me 25 years to actually come finally to the realization, like, wow, this is basic stuff you can get over the counter. It really is. It's pretty fun stuff, though. That's I mean, after all these years, I still look at what I'm doing and I'm like, wow, I'm still learning stuff from you guys, from pictures that come out and all this stuff. It's pretty cool stuff.
That's crazy, man.
Rob, have you ever had an eye bolt come out or get loose? Yeah, I mean, they'll turn. They'll turn. Like when you have the strap on and you're moving the guitar or whatever, they'll turn. That's why Eddie, back in the Music Man days and some of the PD Wolfgang days, put a set screw in there because that kept it from turning. But and these days now, like on the EVH days, he doesn't do that anymore. He just puts a big number 6 eye bolt in there with no washer, no set screw. So they will turn, but I've never had one like come out or fall out,
Uh-huh.
Well, what's it? We had a question here. Rob, I watched a video, it's Fruitcake Tony, by a guy called Johnny Beane, about how Ed painted Frankie. Have you seen this? It was very interesting.
Oh yeah, that's not me. There's another guy named Johnny B.
Yeah. I mean,
who made a video.
Yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. But I mean, yeah, I mean it's when you look back when Eddie painted the Frankenstrat, I mean, there's really no proof that Eddie actually painted this guitar. I mean, there really isn't. I mean, it could have been Rudy Laren, his guitar tech. We don't know. And Eddie doesn't even remember, honestly. He can't remember back then. But whoever painted it, whether it was Eddie or a friend of his or his guitar tech, they were just using basic spray cans. So, I mean, it's no different than what we do today. It really isn't. As a matter of fact, here's an original can of Schwinn Sunset Orange spray, that back from the late 70s, early 80s. Sunset Orange. This is what the 5150 guitar was painted with. This is old, late 70s, early 80s Sunset Orange spray can of Schwinn bicycle paint lacquer.
Wow.
Over-the-counter stuff. There's no paint. Well, there's like, there might be a little bit in there, but this is it. This is the stuff that Eddie was using back in those days.
That's an actual vintage can of that stuff?
That's a vintage can. Look how rusty it is. Yeah, Hubbard and I found all this stuff, and we got these old original vintage cans, original factory. That's the stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Sunset Orange. That's the stuff. So they weren't doing anything out of the ordinary. I mean, when Paul Unkert and George Felice and all these guys from Kramer started doing it, they were doing rattle cans, and then they started doing the spray guns and the airbrush and stuff, whatever. But we all try to recreate this stuff, myself included, and nothing they did back then was hard. It's just what we try to replicate and recreate. That's the tricky part, because they just kind of, as Paul Unkert told me personally, we just used whatever paint was hanging around. It was Chevy Orange Red, or it was, Fire Engine Red or Flame Red, whatever. They just used whatever was there. And as far as the tape that they used, it was just basic masking tape, and they just cut it with X-Acto knives and wooden rulers, and just striped it up. Like this Vetus guitar replica. This is all just basic stuff they did back. There was no rhyme or reason for any of this stuff. So the trick is, when we make these replicas, and I've been doing this for 20-something years, the trick is to, when you approach building one of these guitars, and this is something that's taken me so many years to figure out, the trick is to do it kind of haphazardly, but when you do it, try to recreate the feel that they had, but not make it look so labored. Because when you try to recreate the overspray and all that stuff, there's a trick to it. And guys like Chris Hubbard and Nick Amendolara, the kid, those guys learned from me years ago, and now I'm relearning it from them, because these guys they got it all dialed into a T. It's recreating it without making it look like a labored effort. That is the key. That's what's tough. And when you approach it that way, when you're building these things, that's what makes it magical. And that's what makes it so much fun. And like I said, it's kind of a relearning process for me, because when I build these guitars now, and I look back at these guys that learned from me years ago, and Scott Smith and Jerry Leica and Rich Armstrong and all those guys, now I'm relearning from these guys, and so is Scott. And Scott and I just were chatting back a few weeks ago, and we're like, wow, these guys, they have the torch. They got the crowns now. We're relearning from them. I mean, Nick Amendolara did my Frankenstein. I've done a million of these things over the years. And when the Frankie hit Manhattan, New York, and Nick went out and looked at it before I did, I said, dude, I want you to redo my Frankie. Redo my Frankie. And he did. And he knocked it out of the park, because I don't have the patience to do this stuff. These guys got it dialed in, and all it basically is just taking the approach of what Eddie and Rudy and George and Paul and all these guys did back in the 80s and 70s, just having that kind of freelance, kind of just, non-labored effort. So you take all the pictures you can, and the internet is amazing now. When I started doing these things 20-something years ago, we went off of magazine pictures, and we did pretty good. But now with all the resources we have these days, when you make these guitars, there's so many resources there. The trick is to make it look natural, not labored. That's it. And that's what I've learned. And I'm relearning the whole process these days. There's so many guys out there like Jim Francis and Jeff Rich and all, these guys that are just crushing it. I mean, I read these Facebook and Instagram and YouTube videos and all these posts people put up. And I to this day, after all these years, I'm going, wow, I didn't know that. Well, that's cool. That's what just makes it so much fun. You got to have fun with it. And people take this competitive approach, like this guy sucks and this guy said this and this guy posted pictures that I was supposed to post. You know what? I don't even bother to respond to any of that. This is a hobby of mine. This is a passion of mine. So, these guys, they make such a big deal out of it. Have fun with it. We're all fans. None of us are making money off of any of this. Let's have a good time and enjoy it. So when things start to get real tense and people start fighting, I back away because I don't want to make this a labored effort. I want to have fun with this. You know what I mean, Johnny?
Yeah, well, I don't do any of it. So it's cool. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not. I can't even draw a figure stick person.
I know. Raphael Lugo. Raphael sent me a message on YouTube this morning. First of all, Raphael, I saw that about 2 o'clock in the morning when I got up, and I was kind of half asleep, and I read your message. Like, oh my gosh, I can't respond yet because I was still half asleep. Because my dog Barney woke me up. Thank you for watching my videos. And like I told you, if you go through all my videos when I focus on specific guitars and stuff, hopefully you can learn some stuff from that. I don't claim to be a mastermind of anything. I've just been having fun with this stuff for years and picked up a lot of information through people that have taught me. So if you go through my YouTube channel and you keep watching all my videos and the videos that I've done on Johnny and Dave and Jay's channel all these years, hopefully you can learn some stuff from all these guys. But to answer your question again, Musicraft, Chris Locke Custom Guitars, and Randy Butala Custom Guitars, those are going to be your three main resources for exact replicas of bodies and necks. And I'm not going to say who's better because they're all amazing and they're all awesome and they all have it dialed in. And then all the hardware, just do your research and find out if they're Schallers or Gattos, original Floyds, what the pickups are. You can make an exact replica of the guitar you're trying to build by going through those folks and companies for the bodies and necks, and then you just buy the hardware. And the paint job is, you figure that part out, and you're going to get as close as Eddie Van Halen did back in the day. That's it.
Cool. Let's see. So we're 30, we're 20, about 29 minutes into this one. You want to talk about that other Kramer guitar?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have the pictures? Do you have pictures of it?
I do. Johnny, can you set me up? And I'm going to pull up a couple pictures of my phone, and then I have the magazine. But yeah, can you pull up a couple pictures, or can you set me up and I will pull the pictures up?
So let's see. Well, wait, how many people we got in here? 48 people, 27 thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up, you guys. Subscribe if you're brand new to this stuff. We love talking about EVH guitars. Well, guitars in general. But I think when it comes to EVH stuff, this is kind of our thing, myself and Rob and Nesdal and stuff we like. But so there was a backup Kramer guitar from the 5150 tour. That's kind of there's been pictures floating around for quite a while, but I think some of these guys figured out some new information on one of them, at least. And let me see. Well, like that old picture, I have that like on my computer from years ago, but I don't have it on my phone. So you'll have to show that.
I have it right here. So we were talking about some backup guitars that Eddie had back in the '86 era tour.
5150 tour.
Right. So we know, obviously, Eddie played the 5150 guitar, which we all know and love and try to replicate. And
it's my favorite. That's my favorite Eddie Van Halen guitar is the 5150.
Mine too.
Definitely.
Mine too. That is. If I could have only one guitar, it'd be my 5150 guitar. That is the guitar that made me fall in love with Eddie Van Halen's playing and guitars and all. Yeah, absolutely. So we know that Eddie had the 5150 guitar, and we know that Eddie had the 1984 guitar, which is this one right here, 1984 guitar, which he had in the 1984 tour, but he changed the neck and black hardware and all that stuff. And then there was a whole bunch of backup type guitars that Eddie had on the 5150 tour, and also OU812 tour. But we're going to focus on the 5150 tour for a little bit. And we know Eddie had the 5150 guitar, the 1984 guitar, the 918V guitar, which I showed a few minutes ago, which Eddie did play live, usually during Dreams. And then there was a handful of other guitars. One of them was the baritone 24 fret rosewood neck guitar with a
You showed that one in the previous video, huh?
Yep, and that one was also on the 5150 tour. I don't know if he ever played it live, but it was on tour with him. And he had a handful of other pointy headstock, maple-necked, actually tilt-back pointy headstock, maple-necked 5150 stripe pattern guitars. And up until maybe a week ago, Johnny, this one particular guitar kind of came into fruition. Now, Johnny, Dave, and I, about a year or so ago, saw a picture of this guitar, or at least I did. Maybe Johnny had known about it for a little bit longer, but I never really knew where it came from. And this particular guitar, I'm not going to show a picture of the gentleman holding it because I don't know if I'm obligated to do that. But here is a picture of the body. And this is the guitar. So it's a 5150 striped guitar. And for those of you guys that look at that, that is a 1986, not 1986 space taped guitar. Now it looks blue, but believe it or not, it is not. It's red. It's just the way the prisms show. And I think the prisms are a little bit different in this guitar than the 5150 and 84. And I'm not 100% sure, but if you look at the 1 in the bottom of the 9 and a little bit of the 6, you'll see the red. So for some reason, the lighting kind of showed this in a blue shade for whatever.
It's probably a flash.
Right.
A flash from the camera did that.
Right. It's a flash. But I personally believe, and I've done some research in the last few days, that this is still red space tape. It just, like Johnny said, the flash makes it look blue. So this particular guitar was a guitar that Eddie had in his arsenal during the 5150 tour, and it is known as the 1986 Kramer. Now here's another black and white picture of the 1986 tour of all the guitars Eddie had. Now you can see right up front, there's the 918V. See it? It's the first one And then you see the 1984. And then you see a couple of other guitars. And if you look real close, you can see on the, let's see, on the fourth guitar in, you see a 1. All right. And that 1 is the 1986 Kramer, which I just found out about. Here's another picture of the 1984 Kramer and the 918V, and one next to it, which I don't know which one it is. Bear with me here. And here's another picture of all those guitars. Now, if you look really close, you can see the 918V, the 1984, and the 1986 guitar. Okay? So the key to this whole thing is, and once again, here's the original, not a replica. That's the 1986 Kramer. So here's the deal on that particular guitar. We do not know exactly when this 1986 guitar was space taped. We know the 5150 was space taped at some point during the 1984 tour, along with the 1984 Kramer. But the 1986 Kramer is this guitar right here. All right, this is a Japan type picture from a Young Guitar magazine that I have. And this is Eddie holding the 1986 Kramer guitar. All right, 5150 stripe pattern. Can't tell, but it's a pointy headstock. Okay, very similar to the 918V. So at some point, because that picture was taken in the beginning of the 5150 tour, at some point in the beginning of the 5150 tour, Eddie put some red, possibly blue, but I'm thinking red space tape on that particular backup Kramer, and he put 1986 to signify the 1986 5150 tour. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you. I can show this video, Johnny, because it's on YouTube, correct?
What is it?
This is the This is that video the guy did with the Kevin Dugan video. It's only a couple minutes long.
You can show a second of it.
Okay.
Technically, you shouldn't show other videos from other people on YouTube. That's kind of a no-no these days.
Okay.
But you can show a still.
Okay, let me just show a quick couple seconds. You shut me off when I need to. So, guys, this guitar I'm going to show, which is on YouTube, is the 1986 Kramer. This is that guitar.
I'm going to read you a letter here, and then we'll get going on this.
Okay. All right. Pause it right there. Pause it right there.
Okay. And here's the letter. And
Hold on.
what's from.
Okay. So if you guys get on YouTube and you type in Kramer auction guitar.
You can show that picture. You can show that still.
Okay.
Yeah, that video is several years old.
Yep. That is, okay. That is the 1986 Kramer. That is the guitar. And if you get on YouTube, you can watch the whole 3-minute and 21 or so second video of it. So what basically happened was Eddie had that guitar painted, probably by George Felice, and it was one of his backup Kramers during the 5150 tour. At some point during the 5150 tour, he put 1986 space tape on it, or someone did, and he played that guitar along with a 918V and along with a couple of others during Dreams, okay? Or who knows what else, but it was during Dreams.
For the solo. For the guitar solo only.
The guitar solo, exactly.
Because he played the keyboard live.
Right. And at some point after the tour, Eddie gave that guitar to Michael Anthony's guitar tech, Kevin Dugan. And at some point after the 5150 tour, the guitar was stolen from Kevin. Kevin got it back, And whoever the thief was that took the guitar, for whatever reason, began to sand down the striping pattern on the body. We don't know why. I don't know why anybody would do that. But he began to sand the body down, and half of the guitar body was repainted. The guy that stole the guitar, the guy that stole the guitar.
Have another one.
Let me have another vodka. The guy that stole the guitar removed the 1986 space tape and began to sand it down. But according to a good friend of mine who has actually played that guitar, says you can still see the 1986 space tape residue on top of that body even today. Because the guy that actually stole the guitar sanded down in this general area here, not back here. And they basically, when Kevin got the guitar back, apparently, as you'll see in the video, if you watch it, they put the guy in jail, whatever charges were filed. I have no clue. But they repainted the guitar on that particular portion where it was sanded down. And that video is the 1986 Kramer backup guitar from the 5150 tour. And Eddie signed it again after Kevin got it back in 1995 during the Balance tour. That is the 1986 Kramer, and this is brand new knowledge to me as of what, Johnny, like a week ago, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we knew about this 1986 guitar, but we didn't know that it was exactly that one until maybe about a week ago. But that is the 1986 Kramer.
I thought it was years ago.
Okay.
Years ago, I figured, like the one that you were showing, I figured that was the one that Kevin Dugan had.
Okay, I didn't know that.
As far as the picture of the guy with the 1986 space tape, you know, I saw that picture years ago. There's a story behind that picture. I think something like somebody left the guitar at the guy's house, and he was playing it. He got to play it, like somebody that owned it, or.
Yeah,
it's been several years, like years before we started doing these shows, like years and years before.
Right.
You know?
But that picture of the guy that I didn't show a picture of the guy because I didn't want to put the guy's face.
You showed the guitar, yeah.
I just showed a close up of the guitar. But that picture of the guy holding the guitar, of the close up that I showed earlier, that had to be after the 5150 tour, correct?
Yeah, it's definitely 80s, late 80s.
Right.
I haven't seen that picture in years, but
I guess what we're trying to say, guys, to everybody watching this, other than that 1986 guitar, there was a bunch of guitars that Eddie had made for him that he obviously gave away and whatever that had numbers on them. Because Johnny, isn't there a guitar that Eddie's playing? Or actually, in the 1988 OU812 tour, that had a 5-1 on it too. There's a 51, but nobody ever put the 5-0 after it.
Yeah. Let me find. I've got that picture right.
Hang on one second. Be right back.
Okay. I'll show that one. That's a cool one. That's actually one of my favorite. I've always liked that guitar. Let me see. Well, if you guys want to see Rob's, there's Rob's wall. Okay. Here's the one that he was just talking about. And there it has just a 5 and a 1. And this is the guitar that's featured in the 1988 Rolling Stone magazine, the Monsters of Rock cover. That's the one that Eddie's playing, or holding. Yeah, that one. It's that guitar. Now, I've always liked this guitar. I've always thought that was a cool looking, really cool looking one. And there's the body again, real quick. So yeah, I know we're nerds.
Now, Johnny, that guitar that you just showed, what I like about that guitar is the striping pattern is very unique and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But wasn't there a story behind that where it had a 51 on it, but it never got completed because Eddie said there was only one 5150 guitar or something like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. That's something maybe yeah.
Or maybe just somebody just pulled the numbers off after, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. See, look at the striping pattern on that. It's just different. It's got different black stripe. Very, very cool.
I mean, it's similar to the 5150, but yeah, the it's particularly that one black stripe, the one going across the bottom. That one's kind of
totally different.
That's what makes it different, huh?
Exactly. I mean, they're all a little bit different, but that one particularly is definitely different.
Mm-hmm. And then, I guess since we're talking about these, there's another one that's pretty cool. Somebody, another guitar that was, I guess, given away at some point. Did you ever see this one?
Yep. You and I, actually, excuse me, you sent me a picture of that one. Yeah. Now that's an interesting striping pattern because there's minimal white stripes.
Oh, you ate one too.
It almost looks like the guitars that were striped back in the 85, 86 era were very 5150-ish looking. And the guitars that they were still striping in the OU812 era, 87, 88, whatever, I guess 89, but say 88, they started kind of going a little bit different as far as the patterns. They kind of started getting creative. It wasn't the spider webbed crosses, so to speak. They started getting a little bit different with the patterns,
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, there's a letter that goes along with this one. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. It's possible, but December 22nd, 1988. There's a letter of authenticity. Is that the word?
Authenticity.
That's the fifth guitar. The fifth guitar, and it has the serial number, but I won't read it. Ever duplicated to the specifications of my guitar and built by the Kramer Company at my request. Oh, this is signed by Eddie. Jay, are you watching this? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. Since Dave's in the hospital, I'm not sure what we're doing. We might have Dave on from the hospital, I guess, huh?
Dave was going to come on from the hospital. I'm not laughing at Dave. I'm just saying I called Dave earlier and he was like, maybe I'll jump on from the hospital. I'm like, hey, that's cool, dude. That's great. Vista Light 1972 says, are any of the EVH original guitars in any Hard Rock Cafe? Why, yes. And Chris Hubbard and I
this is cool.
Were actually at the Hard Rock Cafe in Philadelphia. Oh, that's awesome, Johnny.
Yeah, I've never read that. Anyway, it looks like that particular Kramer they sold or gave away. I'm assuming it might be one of those guitars they gave away. Like, remember there was the Monsters of Rock? There was that one ad saying Eddie will give you his Kramer guitar.
Yeah.
Remember that Monsters of Rock? That could be that guitar. Could be. I've always kind of assumed maybe it was one of those Monsters of Rock graphic ones, which it could have been.
Metal says, did Eddie ever only mostly use 2 springs in the back? Yeah, mostly he did back in the 80s. Now he's using 3. He used 2 springs in the back of the Frankie for all those years. Now there's 3, and now there's 3 in the 5150. But back in the 80s, there was always only 2 springs. Yes.
Now that I'm looking through these pictures, there's another Kramer
Oh yeah. That's a cool one.
right there. Lots of really cool striping on this stuff.
Yeah, and they changed after the 86 tour. So again, Vista Light 1972. Here is Chris Hubbard and me in
There's
the
another
Hard
one.
Rock Cafe in Philadelphia. What's that, Johnny?
Oh, there's another real quick.
Yeah, I love that guitar. That's another cool one.
Supposedly that one belonged to George Lynch.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have that picture, but I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Well, because he posted it. This is from his Instagram from like years ago.
That is cool.
And it has the headstock. It's a beak.
Yep.
It's a beak headstock.
Yeah, that's cool. Back to Vista Light 1972. So here's Chris Hubbard and I back in September at the Hard Rock Cafe in Philadelphia, looking at this particular guitar. And I took these pictures. This is the number 4 Black Wolfgang guitar that Eddie played in the 2007-2008 tour. And he hogged out the pickup cavity because he wanted to move the humbucker closer to the bridge.
Did you take that picture?
I took all these, yeah.
Man, because I've got some too. That somebody sent me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Same deal.
Yeah. Eddie, that's the number 4 black archtop Wolfgang prototype with the unfinished, no logoed headstock. And Eddie played that in the 2007 tour. And on my birthday, there it is. On my birthday, October 5th, 2007, I saw Van Halen live at the Uncasville, Connecticut Mohegan Sun show. And that's the guitar. And that is now at the Hard Rock Cafe in Philadelphia. Yeah, that's it. So to answer your question, yes, there are some. Now Metal Soda, that's not necessarily one of the old guitars, but I mean, yeah. Yep. And also, Johnny and I were at the Hard Rock Cafe back last January in Hollywood, California, and this guitar, which is one of Eddie's, the Neptune Kramer, is at the Hard Rock Cafe on Sunset Boulevard. This is a copy of the Hard Rock Cafe Neptune guitar. And this one is still there. Johnny, do you have a picture of you, me, and Caleb standing there?
I don't know if I ever had pictures of us standing there.
Hold on, I do.
I've been there a couple times, and so I do have a picture of it from some point.
Hold on.
Here's the actual guitar right here. This is the actual guitar right there.
That's the real one. Yep.
Is that Floyd? Is that Floyd Rose behind him?
Floyd Rose. Where's that picture? Hold on. Here's a picture of me standing next to it while my ex-girlfriend actually took a picture. It's the real one. Johnny was right there that day. Hold on.
I was there, huh?
You were there. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay. So here is Johnny Beane, myself, and Caleb Rappaport, Nerd Halen, standing in the Hard
Look at
Rock
that.
Cafe in Hollywood, California.
See, look at that. Me and Rob are the same height,
Yeah, we are.
roughly.
We are. Johnny's taller than me. No, that's us standing next to the Neptune Kramer. So yeah, there's another guitar, an original Kramer that is actually at a Hard Rock Cafe, and that's in Hollywood, Sunset Boulevard. And I made a replica of that guitar, and this is it. It's called the Neptune Kramer. And Paul Unkert has an amazing story on this guitar because he painted it, and then they went out to lunch, and Eddie came in. I'm not going to say in what capacity, but Eddie came in and hosed it down with black paint, and that's why it's got all the drips and everything and all that crazy stuff. So really cool story. But yeah, that's the Neptune. Wow. So the original one is at the Hard Rock Cafe in California. Really, really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right there in Hollywood. If you guys are ever on is it Hollywood Boulevard or is it Sunset?
It's actually on Sunset Boulevard.
Is it Sunset? There's a Hard Rock Cafe right there. It's right across from Jimmy Kimmel. If any of you guys know, or Man's Chinese Theater, or I don't think it's called that anymore. But if you're ever up the street from there. And then here's a picture of Eddie playing that guitar that Rob was just talking about earlier. I think. This one.
Yep. That's it. That is the number 4, Wolfgang.
Awesome.
Okay, Johnny, I know this answer, but I'm having a brain fart here. Fruitcake Tony says, which guitar was stolen and later returned a couple of years ago? Remember that? Which one was that? Was that the Orlando Kramer?
A couple of years ago. You mean from a Hard Rock?
Yeah, from a Hard Rock. Remember that? I know what he's talking about, but I can't remember exactly which guitar it was.
I did a video on that. I'll put a card right above where Rob is. Rob, point up. Yeah, other hand. There we go. There'll be a card right there on playback of that video. Yeah, I did a video talking about when that happened. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know, it sounds awful.
So yeah, so I don't know. As far as tomorrow night, you guys, I don't know what we're gonna do. Nesdal is in the hospital. Not that that's funny, but everybody, leave a thumbs up.
For Dave.
Well wishes for David Nesdal. And yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do tomorrow. I mean, I'll be here regardless. 8 o'clock Eastern. Actually, about right now, in exactly 24 hours. 24 hours from now, I'll be here. Mancuda, he should be here, but usually he's at Dave's. So maybe if Dave's not home, maybe he'll jump on his iPad or something.
Well, Mancuda was at the hospital with Dave, dressed in a doctor's outfit.
Yeah, I saw that.
What was his name? Doctor, I don't even want to say it. What was it?
Oh, I don't. Oh, well, if he's here, he'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. I want to say something. So this Saturday, I'm going to be leaving Saturday morning, driving out to New York to go out to see our good friend Pete Caruccio, staying at his place. Pete has an amazing guitar collection, and Pete's going to be there. Craig from CHS Guitars, Craig Stoffko is going to be there, and Pete's band, Franks and Beans, is going to be playing a live gig. I don't know if it's in downtown Manhattan or wherever it is, but we're going to be going out there. I'm going to be roadieing for those guys and bringing all their equipment in and doing all that.
Roadie?
roadieing. Is that a word? Roadieing? And hanging out with Warren, watching the live show, and it's going to be a good time. So I'll take some pictures, and you guys can probably see some stuff I'll post. Yeah, it should be a great time because Pete's got a great he's got a great band, and they do some Van Halen stuff, they do some Alice in Chains stuff, they do some Stone Temple Pilots stuff, Guns N' Roses, all kinds of really cool stuff. And they're great to watch. I've seen them a couple of times, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's going to be this weekend. So stay tuned on that, and I'll be posting some pictures and maybe some live videos of the show. That'll be Saturday night. I'll be driving out to New York on Saturday morning and coming back Sunday morning. So yeah, that's going to be cool too.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, Rob Johnson, great hanging out with you tonight. The past wow, it's been 2 hours, but 2 videos.
2 videos, and yeah, definitely
2 videos in 2 hours. I think that's the way to do it, you know. So check out the previous video where we talked about his new shoes, available from EddieVanHalenStore.com and VanHalenStore.com. There they are, the mesh EVH 5150 shoes, I think. Very cool. I'm gonna have to get some of those. I need.
Awesome. You got to get them. They're really comfortable. Yeah.
I gotta get those. So that was our previous video. There'll be a card right above Rob, talking about those. And then tonight, of course, we talked about the EVH Wolfgang Eruption guitar that is now at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Pictures that we showed were by Mike Wolverton and Van Halen Photos on Instagram. Devin Hull, I think I showed a couple of his pictures. And the Kramer 1986 backup guitar that we just showed. So come back tomorrow in exactly 24 hours. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'll be here. So I think Mancuda will be here somehow. Maybe we'll get Dave here from the hospital or something. Maybe. So, but yeah, everybody, thumbs up for Dave. And
hang in there, Dave. You'll be just fine, dude.
Yes. Yeah. And what else? I don't know. Well, I'll be back here tomorrow. So, all right, Rob Johnson, great to see you.
Good to see you too, buddy.
And everybody subscribe to Rob's channel. It's I think it's VH Rob.
Yeah, it's actually Rob's EVH Guitars TV and fitness, and yeah, you'll find me.
That's a long title, man.
It's a long title. It's like 19 words.
That's a long. That domain is like 100 characters.
And now on Instagram as RobCJ5150.
Rob's what?
Rob CJ 5150. Not BJ, CJ.
Oh, okay.
Subscribe to Barney's channel.
There's Barney.
Oh, you're in the cat box again? I'm joking.
There's Ned right there.
Ned
sleeping. Oh, and it's dark out. I gotta tuck in the chickens, man. So I gotta. We can chat for a couple more minutes off air if you want.
Yeah. Yep.
But everybody, see you guys tomorrow night, right here. And make sure, go to johnnybeane.com. Leave a comment. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. johnnybeane.com, johnnybeane.tv. Good night.
Have a good night, guys and gals.
And animals.
And animals.
And guitars.
And guitars.
And basses.
I don't have one.
A guitar and the bass are the same thing, though, huh?
Yeah.
A bass is a guitar.
Yeah. Bass guitar.
Bass guitar, yeah.
Yeah, they're all guitars.
All right. All right, everybody. Subscribe, thumbs up. And go to johnnybeane.com. Leave a comment there. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Good night, guys.